Rep agency owners aren't short on effort. They're taking calls, managing principals, checking in with customers, putting out fires, and keeping the team moving. But activity does not always mean the business is healthy. That's where leaders get stuck. They can feel that something is off, but they cannot always point to the number that explains it. Sales feel slow, cash feels tight, the pipeline feels unclear, the team is working hard, but the business still doesn't feel like it's moving with control. And that is why numbers matter. Not because you need to live in a spreadsheet, because the right numbers show what is actually happening. They take leadership out of emotion and into clarity. Instead of saying, I think we're okay, you can say, here is what the business is showing us. If you run a rep agency, these are the 7 numbers worth looking at every week. First, look at market share. Not just how much you sold, how much of the available business in your territory, category, or market is coming through your agency. Revenue can rise while market share stays flat. Revenue can look fine while a competitor gains ground. If the market is growing and you're not growing with it, that tells you something. If a principal expects you to own a category, you need to know where you stand. Are you winning your fair share? Are competitors getting into accounts you should already be serving? Are there regions, channels, or customer segments where you're underrepresented? Market share helps you look beyond your own number and understand your position in the market. Leadership is not only asking, did we sell more? It's asking, are we becoming more relevant? Second, revenue trends. Not just this month, not just this quarter. Look at revenue over the last 3 years. That is where patterns show up. One strong month can make the business feel healthier than it is, and one slow month can make the business feel worse than it is. So when you zoom out, you can see the truth more clearly. Is revenue growing consistently? Is it flat? Is it dependent on 1 or 2 big wins? Is it seasonal? Is it slowly declining even though the team feels busy? Revenue trends give you context. They show whether the agency is building momentum or reacting to whatever comes in. Short-term activity can hide long-term problems. Third, pipeline numbers. This is about sales velocity. How many real-world opportunities are in the pipeline? What are they worth? How long do they usually take to close? How many opportunities do you need to hit your targets? A lot of agencies talk about pipeline in vague terms. Yeah, we have good stuff coming. There are a few conversations happening. This account could turn into something. But vague pipeline does not help you lead. You need the math. If your target is a certain number, how much opportunity needs to be active right now should be clear. If only a percentage will close, how much coverage do you need? If the sales cycle takes months, what does today's pipeline say about next quarter? Pipeline numbers help you see the future before it reaches the bank account. And if the pipeline is weak today, the business usually feels it later. Fourth, conversion rates. Leads and opportunities only matter if they move forward. How many conversations turn into meetings? How many meetings turn into proposals? How many proposals turn into customers? And how many opportunities turn into repeatable revenue? This shows whether the pipeline is working or if it's just leaking. Sometimes the issue is not the number of opportunities. Sometimes the right opportunities are not moving through the process. The message may be unclear, the follow-up may be inconsistent, the team may not be asking the right questions, the wrong customers may be entering the pipeline, the next step might not be clear either. And you can't fix that by looking only at total sales. You need to know where opportunities are dropping off. Fifth, repeat versus non-repeat business. This matters so much in rep agencies. Not all revenue behaves the same way. Some business comes back. It has rhythm, it creates stability, it's ongoing, it gives the agency a stronger foundation. But other business could be project-based. It can be valuable and profitable, but once it's done, and it has to be replaced. If you don't separate these two, you can misread the health of your business. A strong project month can make revenue look great, but if there's not enough repeat business underneath it, the foundation may still be weak. Know what percentage of revenue is repeatable and what percentage has to be re-won over time. And that tells you how stable the agency really is. Growth isn't only landing business, it's knowing what will keep coming back. 6, profitability. Not revenue, profitability. How much does your agency actually keep after the work, travel, payroll, tools, events, admin, and time required to service the business? This number tells the truth. You can have really strong revenue and weak profitability. You can have a busy team and a model that keeps the business no room to breathe. You can win more accounts and still create more pressure if the work isn't profitable. Profitability shows whether the model is working. It gives you room to hire, it gives you room to invest, it gives you room to handle slow months, and it gives you room to make decisions from control instead of pressure. So don't only ask, hey, how much did we sell? Ask, what did we actually keep? And seventh, the customers that represent 80% of your total revenue. This is about concentration. Which accounts really drive your business? Which customers, channels, or relationships make up the majority of your revenue? In many agencies, a small number of customers represent a large percentage of the business, and that can be a strength. It shows where your best relationships are. It shows which customers deserve more attention, more strategy, and more protection. It can also be a risk. If too much revenue depends on one or too few customers, one change can create a serious problem. One customer slows down, one relationship shifts, one buyer leaves, one competitor gets in, and the agency really feels it. So know who makes up the 80% and protect those relationships. Look for ways to grow them. Look for ways to diversify. Be honest about where the business is too dependent. And when you look at all these 7 numbers together, you get a clear picture. Market share shows you where you stand. Revenue trends show whether momentum is building. Pipeline numbers show whether enough opportunity exists. Conversion rates show whether opportunities are becoming business. Repeat versus non-repeat business shows revenue stability. Profitability shows whether the model works. And top revenue customers show where the business is concentrated. The goal isn't to make leadership more complicated. The goal is to make it less emotional. And when you don't know the numbers, everything becomes a feeling. Sales feel slow, the team feels busy, things feel okay, something feels off. Feelings are hard to lead from. Numbers give you something to manage. They show you where to focus. If market share is slipping, study the competitive landscape. If revenue trends are flat, look beyond short-term wins. If pipeline numbers are low, future revenue is at risk. If conversion rates are weak, the sales process needs attention. If too much revenue is non-repeat, stability will become an issue. If profitability is weak, the model needs work. If 80% of revenue depends on one customer, that relationship can be very risky. And this is how you stop guessing. If you run an agency, don't try to track everything at once. Start with these 7: market share, revenue trends, pipeline numbers, conversion rates, repeat versus non-repeat business, profitability, and the 80% of total revenue. Look at them every week, talk about them with your team, use them to make better decisions. The goal isn't to work harder. The goal is to see the business with clarity. And when you can see it clearly, you can lead it better. And if you want a simple rep agency scorecard, comment scorecard, and I'll send it over. Use it to track these 7 numbers every week so you can stop guessing and lead from what's actually happening in the business.